Talk. God's will is not going to make you happy. It's going to piss you off sometimes. Like, I see so many people that say, what kind of God would do this? What kind of God would do that? Why would God do this? Why would God allow this to happen? And sometimes they be arguing with each other on the internet. And sometimes people be going through things. And, a lot of us that have faith be like, trust in God and everything else. And which is true and which is honest. But some people, they get upset about it because they just don't see it, because they haven't made peace with what is God's will. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been so many times where I was like, God, why this happened, why that happened, why some of the worst things happen to the best people, why does some of the best things happen to the worst people? And, don't get me wrong, it sucks. It sucks. Like, it absolutely do. But in Ecclesiastics, it says the good and the wicked also suffer the same hard life experiences. But, and even me saying this can sound like to somebody like, well, you don't know, and I'm going through this and I go through that and this and that. That's why I'm saying, I'm absolutely not judging. I am not just, saying that it's nothing, because like I say, I have heard and seen some things, and I just be like, oh my God, like, why God? Why does such good person or such good people or this situation happen? All the time. And I just figure that, a lot of people don't make peace with God's will. And a lot of times, you can pray for something. You can pray for your family member, or you can go through sicknesses and be like, God, just get me through it. Or you could pray for your family member that's sick or whichever, and then it don't happen. And then you just like, like, God, and I see it all the time. Like, a lot of people be like, well, my mother was super faithful and she still passed away because of this, and she still passed away for that. And at the end of the day, it is God's will. And we won't never understand it. Never. It's like, honestly, and people debate about it. Well, it's this, is that. You're not going to understand it. And, it helps to be honest with people. Like, a lot of us that have a lot of faith, super faith, and this and that, but it helps to be honest, to be like, look, my faith is, I got the highest faith, and God work miracles, and God work in mysterious ways, and God do what he want to do. But there's times where you got to say, look, I have questioned myself, because I feel like it gets to a point where it's it's positivity, but sometimes it can come off as positivity and honesty without the compassion, without the looking at it from that person's point of view. Like, okay, well, why are they saying this? Why is that? Yes, it's honesty, and yes, it's encouragement, but you also can't get upset with them because they feel the way they feel. At the end of the day, we are human beings. God know that. He absolutely know that we're human beings. If you read the Bible, there was a lot of Jesus suffered, disciples suffered. There was all throughout the Bible. They're like, God, why has this happened? God, this and that. All throughout it. Yes, you can be encouraging and everything else, but you also got to have compassion. But on the flip side, there are people that get upset with people because, they're speaking of their faith. Or they get upset with people because, oh, well, you can believe in this and you can believe in that. If you don't believe in it, fine. I feel like it need to be respect on both ends. Respect the person that, like, look, God gonna do it. You can't get mad at them, but also respect the person like, look, I don't know. I can't see it right now. it's too much. I just don't. But like, the disrespect is when people start arguing and just start disrespecting each other, like, and you just be all online and this and that and whichever. I mean, I don't think God want that either. Like, yes, encourage the non-believers, encourage the people that, you know, don't believe, but don't judge them, and don't have non-compassion either. I could be wrong. I can absolutely be wrong. I can't tell nobody how to feel. But I'm just a person that's come here real, that has been through some things sometimes myself, and I've questioned God, like, God, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Or things that I haven't gone through that I've seen other people go. Like, we all question that, like, why is it war? Why is it murder? Why do kids die? Why all of these things? And it's just like, you know, we ain't gonna never have the answer to that. Only God knows. Because it's his will. And once you make peace with his will, it helps you. It helps you, like, you know what? But that don't mean that you ain't gonna be in pain. That don't mean that you ain't gonna hurt. That don't mean that you ain't gonna be like, why this, why that? Like I say, I could be wrong. But God give me the grace to be wrong.